In our last episode, we discussed about the performing shares at the Nairobi Securities Exchange based on share price growth. In our today's episode, I would like us to look at the performing shares at the Nairobi Securities Exchange based on the dividend payout. Welcome to Sophie's Chronicles and welcome back to our series From Hustle to Hammock. Dividend payout refers to the amount of money paid to an investor per year relevant to a share price. How much do you get per share? It is important to note at this particular point that dividend payout will vary from one year to the other. For example, if Safaricom paid 15 shillings per share this year, it does not necessarily mean that Safaricom will pay 15 shillings per share next year. The dividend payout is heavily dependent on the profitability of that company within a particular financial year. According to the recent market report by the Capital Markets Authority and the Nairobi Securities Exchange, the following companies or the following shares are the performing shares at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. First is the Standard Chartered Bank that returned 15% of the share price. Umeme Limited that returned between 15 and 16%. Kenya Electricity Generating Company that returned between 13 and 15%. British American Tobacco BAT that returned between 12 and 13% of the share price. I&M Bank that returned between 12 and 13%. Cooperative Bank of Kenya returned 12 to 13%. NCBA returned 13%. Stanbic Holding between 11 and 12%. Williamson Tea returned 11.75%. It is also important that I mention their blue chip companies that are not returning very high in dividends, but they are very steady and they're very consistent. And one of them is Safaricom PLC that returned between 4 and 5%. East African Breweries that returned 4 to 5%. KCB Group that returned between 6 and 10%. Cooperative Bank that returned between 8 and 9%. Equity Group Holding that returned between 8 and 9%. Join me in my next episode to discuss about things that should concern you as an investor if you're investing for purposes of dividend payout. Remember, as a successful investor, you need to have information, you have to have knowledge. You need to have discipline, you need to have commitment and consistency. If you like the episode, share, comment, and subscribe.